Hi everybody, welcome to another very quick tutorial. It's only a short video today. I'm just going to teach you or try and help you with doing various different roof designs, especially using the new Camp Revamp update, which obviously helps a lot of players open up their possibilities of creativity on otherwise, techniques that were otherwise unreachable or quite difficult to do before that update, like merging and that sort of fun stuff. Now all of that goes away. Everyone's on the same level as far as I'm concerned. So here's just a little video to help you get some, fancy little roof designs. So I've just built this very simple, corner type building here. I've just whacked it together, and we're going to go ahead and just put a roof on this together. So let's get going straight in there with one of my favorites personally. It's a double roof. So what that means is we're just going to get two roofs directly next to each other like so. Um, it's just an illustration, obviously, but I like to do that just so it gives it a bit more thickness, makes it stand out. And what we do is make that overhang the building, so it looks a lot nicer and just really gives it some character. So I like to use these ones, the ranch house roof. It's how I get that nice clean interior there that people ask about often. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the usual. I'm going to whack one in there, let it clip. I'm going to climb up because I'm clearly Superman with some sort of jetpack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that piece, I'm going to put it to free placement mode, and I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to hold X on PlayStation, the equivalent on Xbox PC, whatever that is, to just grab or select. And you're going to hold that button down, and you're going to use your, here we go, your other stick to just move it out slightly like I've just done there. And then you're going to just click it once to get it to align. Then you're going to do the same thing again, and you're just going to edge it out here like that. So what we're doing here, we are allowing ourselves to have a bit of an overhang on the outside. Here's where it gets a bit fiddly, because obviously when you try and snap the next piece on, you get that sort of effect there. And then let me just show you what I've done there. So that just overhangs a bit, so it doesn't just sit in there and you don't lose sight of the actual roof piece itself. You only want to let it overhang a tiny bit, otherwise it just looks a bit odd, in my personal opinion. And then you're going to do the same thing again over here. But the difference here is you're going to snap it onto the end of the first one you just did. Now, grab it, free place, and then this is the second technique. Instead of pushing the button that I mentioned earlier and then holding that button to move it manually, you could just click it once, don't hold it, and then just move your entire character straight down towards you. It is a bit of a sort of by-eye work, so I'm going to do that and then see how it feels. Don't worry about the shimmer, we will cover that with the double roof. And there you go, I would say I've got that pretty spot on. So that is how you do the overhang. Very simple with the new camp placement, camp revamp with a free placement. Before the update, just for those players who may be new to the game, you would need to do like a half-piece staircase or a half-piece walkway and all sorts of fun stuff. So that's how you do the overhang. So let's continue with the build. So we're just going to use that same technique just to finish this roof off here very quickly. So the good news about this is once you've lined it up originally, you should then be able to snap these pieces in like that. And you can see there's no sort of conflict, thankfully. And if I try and get that one to wiggle around, there you go, and I should have a bit of an overhang there. And then again, you can do that as well. So here's where you can start getting a bit funky with the roof pieces. So you can either leave it like that and have something hanging down here. I don't know, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head here. You could put a wall coming out there so you get that sort of ultra modern build feel, or various other things. We'll come back to that later on, but let's keep going with this. So if I need to now line up, it's going to be, yeah, this bit here. So ignore my track house in the background. That is a sneak peek of a prefab build coming your way, so do stay tuned for that one. So again, I'm just going to click the button once, I'm going to walk the roof towards me, and I'm going to let it overhang again. So same again here, you're going to do, oh hello, I've just fallen off the roof, thankfully no damage, I'm okay everyone. So let's leave that overhanging for now, and then I'll show you the double roof technique. Right, so let's go ahead and put the second layer on. So this one should hopefully be as simple as the first. Now you've got it all lined up, you can actually use these ones to help you guide your next pieces. So what you're going to do here is you're going to snap it onto one of the end pieces, and you're going to go to free place, and then same as before. So this one you have to use the first technique I mentioned. So put X on PlayStation, whatever it is on Xbox and PC. Apologies, I don't know, but please put it in the comments if you can help others out. So you're going to hold that button once you click it once, and again on the PlayStation it's R1 to move up in a completely straight line, and L1 to move down. So you can do that, and you can try and line it up like this, and then just use your right analog stick just to move it down very, very slightly, just to minimize that gap that's between the two roof pieces. And then you guessed it, you're going to try and snap. There we go, it on there. So, and again, you're going to snap that like that, and then same as we did before, you're going to go that way. There you go, and then that one there, and then same as before, you're just going to add it onto this bit here, not the other bit. Why? Because it just makes it that tiny bit easier. How? Because you can do this. So you can go to free mode, click it once, hold X again, and try and line it up. So this is the easy bit. So if you just hold it like that gently and then start moving your character forward, you can really fine tune where that thing goes. And what you're looking to do is have it just disappear very, very slightly into the other, the ghost line, as it's called, I suppose. On my channel it is anyway. If you've got a better name for it, please let me know. And again, you're going to just try and snap that piece there. Same one over here. If I can get the camera to line up, there we go. And then you're going to jump down here. Same again, free place, hold X, move it across, and you're looking for that dark line to just pop through, or pop into, sorry, the ghost line, as I'm going to call it from now on forevermore. And then whack that down there, jump off your rooftop, don't break your legs. You've got double, nice thick roof, or what I call the modern roof. And you get rid of those shimmerings underneath that I mentioned earlier. There you go, nice little quick show. There's your double roof. Let's start playing around with some design methods. So some of the things I like to do, instead of having just this square, 90-degree angle here that looks a bit sort of in your face, it looks a bit annoying, I'm going to grab the same roof piece, and what I'm going to do is use free placement. And what we're going to do now is try and line it up so it's even on both sides. As you can see, you can just snap it there and then move it, but I like to do free placement because I am a weirdo. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just play around with this design. So I'm going to put a square in the middle of the two roof pieces that I've already placed, and I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one underneath. I don't know, I'm just playing around with this at this point. And then, I don't know, I'm going to put another one there. So let's have a look at that. So again, you've got this, I don't know, Art Deco type feel. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I'm just off the top of my head here. And you can just add a bit of a snazzy sort of piece to the front of your build, or any part of your build. You can do the same at any angle. So on the side, for example, you can do that one and that one. I don't know if you want to do that, but again, you just get this nice little double layer fill. And what it does is it just sits in between. The top looks fine because obviously it doesn't overlap any of it. And it just allows you to really play around with the shape of the build. I'm going to get rid of these two, and we're just going to focus on the front piece. Because again, it just allows us to do a few little bits. So what can you do to get rid of the other sort of dodgy bit? You could also, if you really wanted to, play around with diagonal lines like that. Move it round, free placement again I'm using. And you're looking to line it up as best you can using your eyes, or any part of your body, I suppose. And again, just adds this nice little flair to it. So it's just a little design piece there. Let's continue. So there we go, what I've done, just to not bore you with the details, I've just added a few bits of my own detail, like the grass here, or fake grass, this is green shag carpet, just FYI. I've added a door and that sort of stuff, just to give you a bit of a feel of how this starts putting your modern builds together, if you, as I say, if you want to do your modern builds. And you can see here that it's just adding a bit more detail, and it starts to come together, and that roof, to me, really just adds to the whole thing. So you can do, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can do certain little hints and tricks that you can sort of start adding to the build. So for example, we can put some of these down. I'm just going to do this incredibly quickly, so it might not be absolutely perfect, but hey ho. And we can whack these down here, and you can just double them up. And what that'll allow you to do, again, I'm using free placement here just to be very quick. Again, tiny little detail, but it just adds to that sort of modern feel, in my opinion at least. And then you start adding or changing your floors and that sort of fun stuff, right? So you can change this to, I don't know, white spring tile, where is it? There we go. There we go, and it starts coming together. Obviously you do double walls to get your wallpaper on the outside, your white walls, etc. And you can also change these a bit if you fancied it. So for example, that top one, instead of having the white banner, or whatever you want to call it, around the edge, you could maybe put, not the enclave roof, one that's a bit more filled in. Let's do that one there, and you can actually just have, yeah, obviously do that the whole thing. and you can start playing around with the colours and that sort of stuff. So where was the one I like to use every so often, not all the time obviously because I'm boring. There you go, there's that one there. So you can have a bit of a red contrast line to the top of your build if you fancied it. So again, just play around with it. And if we go up to the top there, you can just see once that looks finished, you can see on the red roof, a white area below, nice clean feel to it. Your modern build starts coming together. So that's a very quick tutorial of how I do my modern builds and how I give them that sort of flair on the roof and the double roof pieces and that sort of stuff. You can play around it, as I say, giving you some design techniques in this video. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else you want to know, any other questions you have. You'll see these roof types in most of my builds, if not all of them, to be honest. So let me know if you've got any questions, or if you want any more tutorials on anything specific, just let me know and I'll try and obviously accommodate all those requests. So until next time, keep building and take care.